I'm Sean White, and today we're meditating on why you should never grill a steak. Okay, perhaps I'm being a little extreme. Maybe never is not the right word, right? But there are negative health effects to cooking meats at high temperatures. So that's what I want to talk to you guys about today. So let's begin by looking at the science behind this. Heterocyclic amines, or HCAs, and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, also known as PAHs, are chemicals that are formed when muscle meats, including beef, pork, fish, or poultry, are cooked using high temperature methods such as pan frying or grilling directly over an open flame. In laboratory experiments, HCAs and PAHs have been found to be mutagenic, meaning they can cause changes in DNA that may increase the risk of some cancers, including breast, colon, liver, skin, lung, and prostate, as well as increasing the risk of leukemia and tumors of the gastrointestinal tract. HCAs are formed when amino acids, sugars, and creatine or creatinine react at high temperatures. PAHs are formed when fat and juices from meat grilled directly over a heated surface or open fire drip onto the surface or fire, causing flames and smoke. The smokes contain PAHs that then adhere to the surface of the meat. HCAs are not significantly found in foods other than meat cooked at high temperatures. PAHs, however, can be found in other smoked foods as well as in cigarette smoke and car exhaust fumes. Thanks, nerd. Now we got all the science stuff taken care of. Now we can just proceed as usual. So, like he mentioned, that very handsome science guy there, we have our heterocyclic amines, our HCAs, and our polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, our PAHs. These are known carcinogens. They're mutagenics. They can alter your DNA and potentially cause cancer further down the line. Right? I say potentially because nothing is definitive. It's not like you eat a steak and you immediately get stomach cancer. That's not the way any of this works. But there are the cumulative effects that go on when you do it for a prolonged period of time. So if you're, months, years, decades of eating meats cooked at high temperatures, particularly like a lot of fast food, like stuff on the grill top, it can have a negative effect later on in life, particularly if you are someone who may, have a history of these types of cancers in your family. If you have a compromised immune system, if you have a pre-existing condition, these are all things that we want to look out for, right? We want to make sure that, we're living a long life, but we also want to live a healthy life, right? It's like nobody wants to live long and completely unhealthy, and full of chronic diseases and illnesses and whatnot. So this is why I'm letting you guys know about this, right? I'm giving you the knowledge. Knowledge does not equal change, though, right? So if you decide to just continue doing things the way that you're doing things, I can't stop you, right? So, but what we're going to look at now is maybe how we can mitigate a little bit of that risk, right? Like, what can we do that might be a little bit better for us? So the first and foremost is just reducing the frequency of eating foods like this. So if we're eating steaks all the time and chicken on the grill and burgers from fast food restaurants, there's a higher percentage chance that we're going to have some sort of problems later on in life. So I'm not saying not to eat it because that would be hypocritical. I eat it, so why would I tell you not to? So maybe we reduce the frequency. Also, if we look at the preparation of the food, the longer the meat stays under high temperatures, the worse it's going to be for you. So if you're making your steak well done as opposed to medium rare, it's, I wouldn't say like less healthy that way. So we can do other things too, like we mentioned in the last video on how to grill a steak. We could sear the steak and then move it to indirect heat on another portion of our grill. That's going to take it off the high heat. It's going to take it off the direct flame. That's going to be a little bit better for us. We can also take it and finish it in the oven, right? We get a little bit better control, in the oven with our temperatures. A lot of restaurants do this. It makes it a little bit easier to get the temperature that you want. So that's another option that you can do. One thing that I really like to do, but it requires additional equipment, is a cooking technique known as sous vide. And perhaps I'll do a whole video on that. But it's essentially taking food and putting it in a sealed bag and then putting it in a hot water bath at a specific temperature that you want. So if I want my steak to be 145 degrees, I make the water 145 degrees. It'll bring it up to that temperature and it'll never overcook. Then I can take it out of the bag and throw it on the grill just to get my grill marks. Works out great. I do it a lot with pork tenderloins. But like I said, it's an additional cooking technique and additional equipment. So, maybe not the best for people. Another option that I don't particularly care for, but I'm going to tell you anyway, is kind of pre-cooking your meat in the microwave. I know, probably some of us just like cringed. The reason why I don't like it is because I can't imagine buying like a really expensive piece of like steak and then microwaving it to start. Does it work? Yeah, absolutely, it works. To me, it's just not the best option out of all of them. So, if you're looking for healthier options, there's an option. They're not all gems, though. So another thing that we can look at is quality over quantity, right? So if we have a very large steak, obviously there's the potential for more of these compounds. There's more HCAs, more PAHs, because there's a larger piece of meat involved. So if you went with a 24-ounce steak, it's going to be less healthy than, say, a 6-ounce steak. So we can look at our portion size. That's going to help out a little bit. Also, if we go with a really good quality piece of meat, something that's a little leaner, less fat on it, that's going to have less flare-ups, and therefore that's going to create less of the PAHs, right? So that's something to be mindful of. That smoke that comes up when that flares up, that's where these compounds are, the PAHs are. And PAHs are also found in like cigarette smoke. So think about that when you're staying over your grill. What you're inhaling is kind of like the same kind of carcinogen that you get from like cigarette smoke or burning tires and stuff like that. It's kind of crazy, actually. So if you spend all your time on a grill, it's something to think about. Also, the last thing is just, if you get some charred bits on your steak, just remove them. They're just burnt, charred pieces, right? Sometimes people go, well, that's where all the flavor is. It's like, no, that's just burnt. You went a little too far with that. So just remove that. It's going to make it a little healthier for you. The ultimate goal here and what we're trying to do is we're just trying to be healthier, right? So we're trying to look at how can we do things in the healthiest manner, but also being realistic in what we enjoy and what we want to do in life. So I hope you found this informative. If you liked this video, and I'm not sure why anybody would like a video called Never Grill a Steak, but perhaps you did, click the like button. If you want to hear more of what I got to say, subscribe, get notifications, find out when new things are coming out. And I'd love to hear from you. Leave some comments down below. Let me know what you think. Let's get a dialogue started. I think communication is paramount, particularly when we're talking about topics like this. So until we speak again, be well, be safe, and be kind to everybody.